Hello viewers. So, I'm sure you've seen, if you've watched my Twitch channel at all, you've probably seen me play this game. This is Mega Man X. It's by far my favorite game of all time. I've beaten this game more times than I can count. It is it's an old SNES game. And a lot of people consider it to be one of the best platformers ever made. I certainly agree with them because, you know, this is my favorite game, but I've played this ever since I was a little kid. I own original SNES copies of this, the whole original Mega Man X 1 through 3 trilogy. And if you'll excuse me 1 second, my controller's wrapped up and tangled. There we go. So, I've played Mega Man X for years. I'm quite good at it, if I say so myself. I'm certainly nowhere near a pro level. But this is a game that I know pretty much like the back of my hand. Now this was Mega Man's first outing on the Super Nintendo. Before this, they just had Mega Man 1 through 6. A lot of people consider this to be the best Mega Man game of all time. Which is strange, you know, most people, when it comes to traditional Mega Man, I think Mega Man 2 is generally considered the best. But, of all the Mega Man games from all the different Mega Man series, this one is considered the best by most people. And for good reason. I don't want to say it's perfect, because it's not. It does have some flaws, but for the most part, it is extremely well designed. You know, they did just enough to make it feel like old school Mega Man, but at the same time, they added in a few simple features, but the features, you know, dramatically changed the way the games work as a whole. And that was to increase your mobility. Which is why, actually, having grown up on Mega Man X, I can't even play original Mega Man very well. I'm absolutely terrible at it, and I don't really like it very much. So here's the first mechanic. Wall jumping. You could not do this in original Mega Man, and it's made so much of a difference. It makes the verticality so much more, you know, so much more fun. But on top of that, it gives you a new way to avoid enemies, because if you're in a square arena fighting a boss, you jump up on the wall to avoid a shot. And then there's another new ability, which, you know, if you're not familiar with Mega Man X, I won't spoil until we get to it. But it's another ability that the game is built around, and it's, you know, it combined with the wall jumping much more fun. It's much more it's much faster paced. And, you know, attacks go from being, you know, avoiding enemy attacks goes from being a split-second sort of obstacle course kind of thing where you have to jump at the right time to being, you know, you have more options to avoid the attack. And you have to sort of strategize. You have to strategize because you have this, you know, greater freedom of movement. But for the moment, you know, for the time being, this first level is very reminiscent of original Mega Man, with the exception of having to wall jump here and there. Although wall jumping is, you know, it's used much more later on in the game. So, this takes place on a highway. Long story short, Sigma, who was X's original commander, you know, went Maverick, which just means he turned evil. And, you know, he took over some other robots, and you know, they all went Maverick, and they decided to wage war. Now, this is not the same Mega Man as before. This is not even the same character. Mega Man from the original series was just a helper robot. He was just a robot, you know, under the orders of Dr. Light, and Dr. Light turned him into a battle robot to, you know, combat the forces of Dr. Wily, basically. But the big difference between him and X is that X has free will. X is an entirely new robot built by Dr. Light just before he died. And Dr. Light feared the world wouldn't be ready for him, so they put him to sleep. So Dr. Light put him to sleep for 100 years. And then Dr. Kane, you know, found X's capsule 100 years later, and used his design to build a new class of robots, the Reploids, which are what all of these robots are. Now that's Vile, who is a complete rip-off of Boba Fett, but what are you going to do? And then this red guy here is Zero. Now, Zero tends to be the fan favorite, for those of you who don't know who he is. Keiji Inafune, the so-called creator of Mega Man, didn't actually design the original Mega Man character. It was designed by one of his co-workers, although Keiji Inafune was the game director. So, when the Super Nintendo came around, they asked Keiji Inafune to design Mega Man from the ground up for the new series, the new Mega Man X series. So, what Keiji Inafune designed was Zero, the red guy. And Capcom said, no, we can't do that. You know, everyone knows Mega Man is the blue bomber. He's got to be blue. Which, coincidentally, he's only blue anyway because of the limitations of the SNES, or of the NES. It had a much better palette of blue colors than any other color. So, Keiji Inafune still wanted Zero to be in the game, so they relegated him to a second character. And as a second character, you know, he's sort of the... he's the parallel character. He's the one character X wants to be. As you saw, you know, he just saved X there in the first level. And so... although, of course, in the story, Zero is an even more interesting character because Zero is actually the source of all of the Mavericks. See, for those of you who are familiar with the original Mega Man series, Dr. Wily's creation, Bass, you know, who was in a lot of games, who was in Mega Man and Bass. Bass was the original prototype for Zero. You know, Bass was built by Dr. Wily, which means Zero was built by Dr. Wily. And originally Zero was evil. So what happened is, when X had awoken, you know, 100 years later, and they created the Reploids, and then they created Repliforce. Or sorry, not Repliforce, the Maverick Hunters. Sigma being, you know, the head Maverick Hunter, and X just being a low-ranked hunter. They had a disturbance at a warehouse that they had to go check out, and it was Zero. It was where Zero was stored. And so, in the ensuing battle, the crystal on Zero's head was broken. Which, you know, it didn't kill him, but it basically knocked him out and drained his power. He had to be rebuilt. But that let what was called the Zero virus out, which infected Sigma, since Sigma was the one who broke it. And Zero became good, Sigma became evil, and as it was a virus, Sigma infected everyone else around him. So that's how that all works out. Now, this is where we get that second ability I told you about before. This is where we get the dash. Which is actually something Zero did in the beginning. He dashed, you know, toward you. And this is my favorite ability in the game, in the series. I can't play a Mega Man game that doesn't have dashing and wall jumping, because it's so integrated into my style of play. You know, there's hardly a moment where I'm not dashing. I dash for speed, I dash back and forth, I dash to jump farther, I dash to avoid attacks. You know, I dash to do all kinds of stuff. Plus, it just... dashing with the slopes, you know, the game was designed so tightly, so perfectly around these abilities. And they really took full advantage of them, because you can't... you know, you really can't beat the game without dashing. Certainly, you actually cannot beat the game without wall jumping because of a boss later on that requires you to wall jump. But, you know, dashing is pretty much essential, which is funny. Possible to not get. You cannot get past that section without getting the capsule. So, you know, you can see here I'm suddenly a lot faster. You know, you'll see on the Chill Penguin fight coming up ahead. You know, how I use it to avoid attacks. So let's see. Chill Penguin's always a joke. Yeah, he's in an igloo. If you die to Chill Penguin, I'm sorry. He's pathetic. Ah. Yeah, he just jumps up and starts a blizzard. He has a wide range of attacks, but they're all easy to avoid. He's weak to fire, you know, ice weak to fire, but it's just... he is a good first boss, though, because he really does a good job of teaching you, you know, mechanics of the game. Certainly the mechanics of the dash. Yeah, and there's his little penguin slide, and bam! So now we get Shotgun Ice, which is an interesting move. I don't use it very much, but it's I do like it. I wish it was more powerful, or more rapid firing. But it is useful for several boss fights. So as you can see on this little portrait of X here, he's got the leg parts already. And as you'll see as we get more armor parts, his armor increases. So boss order would dictate I take on Spark Mandrill next, and then Armored Armadillo, then Launch Octopus, then Boomerang Kuwanger, then Sting Chameleon, then Storm Eagle, then Flame Mammoth. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to take on Storm Eagle now, because Storm Eagle's fairly easy, and he's got some useful stuff on his stage. Plus, I just like the Storm Eagle fight. He's one of my favorite bosses in the game. And I love this music. So, yeah, you're assaulting an airport. Yeah, Modern Warfare 2. Sorry, Mega Man beat you to it. Except, you know, you're not killing civilians, you're just killing robots. Now, if you dash, you jump here off to the left, you can grab the heart. You really can't get anything in this game at all without the dash. It's pretty much required. So yeah, we're riding, I guess this is a baggage lift. Got this little items and an extra guy down there, but I'm going to see if I can do this without dying a single time, with the exception of a secret area later on where dying just makes it faster. But you'll see that when it comes up. Yeah, this game had capsules, the legs, the arms, the head, and the chest, and every X game had... There wasn't a single X game, I think, that actually just had 4 capsules. You know, every game had in X1 and X2, there's a secret capsule in each. The one in X2 is I think X1 was the most annoying to get because it requires beating a stage over and over again continuously until you finally make the capsule appear. There's no way around it. You know, you have to at least beat the last part of the stage. And while it's easier to do it by killing yourself, so you can just get to that last part of the stage, you can do it without dying by just beating the stage over and over again. But, you know, I don't feel like you should have to beat something multiple times to make it appear. It just, you know, if you get to it with the proper, you know, the proper equipment, it should appear. X1 and X2 both have 1 hidden capsule. X3 has 1 hidden capsule, but it has 4 extra capsules, bringing a total on that one to 9 versus the 5 in these two. And I think I like X3's hidden capsules the best, because the capsules in X1 and 2 give you an extra attack, and in X3 there is an extra attack, but it's not given from a capsule. The capsule gives you other abilities. You know, I think X3 is probably my favorite of the games, which is funny because most people don't really like X3. But I liked how X3, you know, took the idea of mobility and really ran with it even more. So, yeah, we're just more at the airport, jumping up here. We're getting very close to the boss, Storm Eagle. Just gotta cross these platforms and we're there. Although there is a secret to getting to him that you can get. So there's the ship. There's some gun turrets. Yeah. You can jump down here and jump right there and bam. You raise up, the ship gets damaged, and you fight Storm Eagle. And just this fight was always so cool because you're not fighting in a closed arena. You're fighting in an airship that's falling to the ground. And Storm Eagle has multiple attacks. The only thing I don't like about him is when he uses his air dash attack, because you can't really you can't hit him except in like a small window, and a lot of it's just like waiting for him to attack like that. My favorite fights in the X series were always against enemies who are similar to X in nature. And so it's really a battle of agility, who can dodge attacks better. Because I'm very good at dodging attacks, and I like having to kind of stress my fingers a bit. So there, we kill Storm Eagle. Now we get the most broken weapon in the game. Certainly the Storm Tornado. Very useful, does a ton of damage. So now you can see here, we now have the head parts. So now then, now I like to take on Flame Mammoth. These first four bosses are all pretty darn easy, even without their weaknesses. Although I do think that Spark Mandrill is by far the easiest boss in the series when you have his weakness. Yeah, he goes down in a heartbeat. So, since one thing that's cool about this game is the levels change based on what levels you've beaten. So, because I beat Chill Penguin, this stage is now iced over, rather than being like lava down here, which is what it would be. So now we come to, by far, the most annoying part of this game, which is getting the capsule for the arm parts, which are up there. Because you have, like, one chance to make this jump, and it's a really tight jump. Come on. Yes! I've missed that several times in the past. I missed it several times on Let's Plays. Though I'm using an actual SNES controller right now I got for USB, that makes it much easier. Thanks, Stop. So now I have the arm part. There is another hidden secret up here too. There's two hidden secrets in this room. Three, I guess. You go all the way to the right. You can only do this after beating Chill Penguin because the floor has to be iced over. But you can get the heart there. Obviously, you can get the arm part from the capsule over in the corner that I already got. And then if you come up here... stupid miners. And jump over here. And then go way over here. You have a sub-tank. And what a sub-tank does is it just basically lets you restore your health. You gather up health to put in it, and then it lets you, you know, heal yourself. So let's see. Now you come down here, and here's the last section, which would also be, you know, not frozen if you hadn't beaten Chill Penguin. Gotta fight these shield and mace knight guys, I guess. I don't really like them because I don't like how you can't get past their shield, but whatever. So you kill them, and you come up here. Now, Flame Mammoth is pretty easy. He's not the easiest boss in the world, but he's not hard by any means. But he's weak to Storm Tornado. Though, what's interesting about him is if you have the boomerang cutter, you can cut his trunk off, which is cool. Yeah. His flames. You can, if he manages to catch one of those oil slicks on fire, you can, I think... Yeah, he's easy. So look how quickly we have 3 of the parts now. And you see why I do the levels in this order now. The parts are much easier to get if you know, early on. Though it'll be a while before we get the chest piece unless I feel like going out of order. Which I suppose I could, but you know, that's no fun. So now we take on Spark Mandrill. I wouldn't take on Armored Armadillo without beating him first, because Armored Armadillo can be pretty darn tough if you don't have Spark Mandrill's weapon. Because he can avoid your shots, he can block your shots. If you send him a charge shot, he can... You can see the wreckage of that airship crashed into this area. So, you know, now you have power outages, and you used to have electrical surges, but now you have power outages. Which, you know, the power, because this is the power station, and it's been damaged. Cut the power by beating Storm Eagle stage because he normally has an electrical move he can do. And also he's weak to Storm Tornado. So he can't do his little electrical strike move, his lightning bolt. And you can just tear him apart with that Storm Tornado. I mean, it's really kind of pathetic how easy that fight is once you've beaten Storm Eagle stage. And then you go through here. Now, I will have to revisit the stage later on once I have the Boomerang Cutter, because I have to get a sub-tank on this stage. But, you know, you can't get it without the Boomerang Cutter. But it's still, you know, it's in the very beginning, so we won't be very long. But over here in the corner, we do have a new Heart Tank, which you can get pretty easily. Technically, you're not supposed to be able to get it without the Boomerang Cutter, but you can. Supposed to shoot the Boomerang Cutter to grab it, but that's a small ledge, and you can just do this number. Ah, come on. Man, I'm off today. There it goes. I don't think the game designers intended you to do that, but you can. One of the benefits of an emulator is I can actually see the floor even when it's dark in this section. In the original SNES version, you couldn't see the floor, but the emulator doesn't do it perfectly, so it doesn't go straight black. Not that it's a particularly difficult section to begin with. So Spark Mandrill, he's weak to shotgun ice, and boy is he weak to it. Be playing this game. You can pretty much just stun lock him. You can go and not get not get hit because of the way the ice works. And he's dead. Yeah, it's that easy. Now we can play what's probably my favorite stage in the game. Armored Armadillo stage. This stage perfectly encapsulates the original game for me. It's fast, it's fun, it's got cool sub-bosses, it's got a great color scheme, it's got great music, it's got the secret weapon on it, though we can't get it until later. I love this stage. And it's even got a throwback to original Mega Man, right there, that little ball. And it gives a shield weapon, which doesn't have a ton of use, but I still find fairly useful in this particular game. Yeah, I don't care. You can go die. If you get hit by the spikes at the front of that, they'll insta-kill you. And you... There he goes. This is also one of the best stages for... And the fourth one is just on Spark Mangel's stage, where I gotta go back later on with the boomerang cutter. The stage to me it's so much fun. It's very good for fast-paced gameplay, like the way I play it. I'm not sure what makes these minecarts go so fast, but whatever it is. So for this section, we want to switch to the fireway so we can grab the heart. You have to kill him before he gets here, else you can't reach this. Alright. So now you get up here, you can ride this card again. Now, let's see. Yeah, kill these birds, then you jump there. Getting up here, this is where that hidden capsule is, but we can't get it until later. I always tried to get up in that hole he like carves at the top, but you can't. But when he's open like that, you just shoot him with electric spark, and he suddenly has no armor. Ah. It goes from being one of the hardest bosses in the game to, not exactly one of the easiest, but not a difficult boss. And yeah, despite all my trying, I could not get into that hole up top. I do love that background, though. That sort of the mine shaft as a background there. So now we have Rolling Shield. I suppose next we should take on Launch Octopus, though. I'd like to go back to this stage first and grab the heart. Launch Octopus stage. Why? Why does one stage need 4 sub-bosses? I mean, granted, it's just 2 sub-bosses, and they're just repeated twice, you know. And it's the same repeat, you know. You fight it once in a regular situation, and then you fight it again over spikes. You know, one's a submarine and one's a dragon. I hate that. But, whatever, you know. Fighting the overspiked submarine is one of the few places where I do regularly die in this game, because he controls the water currents, and he can pull you into the spikes very easily, and it can be tough to avoid if you're not really skilled. Even if you're really skilled, you can still mess up and just get pulled in. And, you know, it's no fun, because that's just an insta-kill, and it's a cheap insta-kill. I certainly wouldn't want to take on that sub without the dash boots. I don't know why Dr. Wily would even make blade ostriches. I'm not really sure what the point of making your robotic versions of animals is. But, okay, so the heart's over here. Come up here, gotta use the fire wave, and break that. And there you go. Now you have a heart. Now we can exit the stage. Alright, so let's get our code. So, now we go take on Launch Octopus. I'd say, with his weapon, he's still one of the harder bosses in the game. Though that's still a bit iffy to say. But he's not gimped when you get his weapon. You still have to kind of strategize, and you have to, you know, play around how he attacks to really hit him with it. So, alright, now we come down underwater. This first section is always fun. This underwater level really is, you know, here's a thing over regular land. Now, here's that same thing over spikes. And it's that move right there that the next submarine we fight that I find problematic. Because he can, you know, push or pull the water currents. You never know which he's going to do. And you only have a small platform to stand on, so it's very easy to get pulled into the spikes when you're fighting him. And I'm not sure what his weak weapon is. Maybe it's Chameleon Sting, but I don't have that yet, so... So let me get through these guys. One sec. Noise in the background I gotta take care of. Alright, we're back. I just had to shut my door. Roommate's playing video games in the other room. So we come down here, come across here, and right there, we got 2 beds of spikes. Ooh, oh. You saw how close that was, how easy it is to fall into the spikes there. The best thing is to wait just a second to see where from what direction he's gonna pull, and then jump right as you hit the edge. The problem is if you get caught jumping when he starts his pull, it can be tough. Like that. You know, if you're moving at all when he starts, you can really affect the outcome of his pull, which can make it much harder to avoid falling into the spikes from it. So you kind of have to stay still, but at the same time you do have to, you know, jump to destroy his attacks. His little... And, you know, right there he just did only pulling. He does push as well. So you really got to avoid it. You can't just sit at the back and wait for him to pull to give yourself more time. Now, I feel like there's some other reason for this thing up here, but I haven't discovered it. I think it's just an extra health. But we're going to need this. This will make taking out the next sub-boss an absolute joke. So we killed the first 2 sub-bosses. Now we have the third one. Though the third one actually is a secret and just, you know, it gets you a heart. But we need to get 100% to get our hidden weapon. And I just like doing 100% anyway. So we break the submarine, it crashes through the floor, and we ride down here. Then we come into here. Now you gotta be careful in here, because you can beat this guy by riding on him, but you gotta be careful that you don't fall into spikes. And the easiest way to do that is to judge based on these pillars, because the pillars are always over a flat area, and the area directly to the right of the pillar is always over a regular non-spike ground. So if you're directly to the left of a pillar, you're dead. If you're directly to the right, you're safe. If you're on the pillar, you're safe. So that we killed the sea dragon. You can ride that up to nowhere, really. Then we come over here, and guess what? Another sea dragon. Though this one comes from underground. And the sea dragons are still a joke to kill because you have the overpowered, you know, storm tornado. And you can just kill them in a heartbeat. And we get through these guys. And we are at the boss. Now, water physics are at work on this boss fight, and it is hard, because the shield is supposed to hurt him and protect you, but he throws so many projectiles, it's hard to actually hit him without the shield getting destroyed before it reaches him. You know? And if you have the, you know, if you have the boomerang cutter, you can cut his tentacles off. But I don't have it yet because that's one of the last things I get, so I just gotta kind of take him out with this. And really the best way I found is to just take the hits and damage to him with that weapon. Let's see what we get here. We get Homing Torpedo, one of my favorite weapons in the game that we don't use very often. But, you know, it's useful for certain bosses. It's useful for Vile if you can't get him with the secret weapon. So now we take on Boomerang Kuwanger, who is weak to the Homing Torpedo. Sorry, Boomer Kuwanger. His name's Boomerang Kuwanger in the future. Because I did like that remake quite a bit. I liked playing as Vile. And this is my least favorite stage, but I love the music here. Dun 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 dun. Whatever. Yeah, probably should use the that. Make things a little easier. Easiest way to get past this: pull up your shield if you can get it, and then just avoid the spiked pedestals, the spiked platforms, because those things will kill you. And then this next section, the shield here also makes this part a breeze, because it kills every enemy, it blocks all their attacks, so you can basically proceed as if you've killed everything. You know, the shield weapon in this one is definitely good, but only at certain parts. I'd say it's one of the better Mega Man shield weapons. Because unlike other weapons, it doesn't, if it can block an attack, then it doesn't go away, and it doesn't use any extra attack power, it's just there. Now, this part, for the longest time, I didn't know you could do this. Thought you had to use the boomerang cutter, but you can just ride the ice over and grab that. I hate that section. So now we switch to the missiles. And Boomerang Kuwanger. Sorry, Boomer Kuwanger. Based on a beetle. He is a very difficult boss if you don't have his weapon. I like double firing it just for the, you know, I find it fun. And down he goes. So I'm gonna run back over here and grab this sub-tank real quickly. Now that I have the Boomerang Kuwanger weapon. From every stage except the last stage I need to get, and then we can get our secret weapon, so to speak. Sting Chameleon. He was always the hardest boss that I fought when I was a kid. He's not as hard now that I know how to avoid his attacks, but before he was always one of the hardest. And just, you know, as a remnant of that age, which is where I really learned how to play this game, he is the last boss I fight. So let's see, kill him, whatever, just avoid those attacks. Now you have two options. You have go forward to continue the level, you go down to get the heart, which you can, I think you can technically do it if you haven't beaten the water stage, but it's much easier if you have, because you have water here where you can jump. You know, you can make it across, but I think you technically can get it without that, but I'm not sure. Up here, you fight this boss to get the last armor piece, the last capsule, which is actually armor. It's chest piece that reduces damage by half. And this guy has a lot of health. Finally starting to smoke, and I'm out of fire. Yeah. The thing is, you can't hit his claws either. You have to hit him from the top or the bottom. Usually the top, because, you know, the bottom's pretty tough to get. So which is why, with these, you have to be in the air when you fire them. When you have to... their trajectory when they home in will avoid the front. But they just... nothing does much damage to this guy. I think the Chameleon Sting is alright, but you know, you don't get that until you beat Sting Chameleon, which we haven't done yet. There. I guess, you know, he's a boss with armor before you get the armor. Now we can go through here. We have everything in the game. Except, of course, for the hidden weapon. Which I'm still not... Which, if you don't know, I'm still not going to tell you what it is. But I will tell you it's a remnant of Capcom's other franchises. One franchise in particular. And it's not something most people expected to... So, kind of a why not situation more than a why. And now we go into a giant tree to fight Sting Chameleon. There it goes. And down he goes. X is looking away from the cool explosion. Now we have the Zero music. Finally, we found Sigma's fortress. Let's go in and put an end to this war against the humans. But first, we need to go die a couple of times on this stage. Yeah, not the most fun thing to do, but whatever, it gets us the best weapon in the game. I'm gonna just use the X-Buster. Really, for this first segment, the X-Buster is the best. I can just rush ahead now, I don't have to bother with him. So, let's see, I'm gonna come here and grab these things. Good thing this is the best stage to farm for your sub-tanks, though, because you need to farm for your sub-tanks. You have to have full sub-tanks to get the hidden weapon. You have to have full health and full sub-tanks. And then once you get it, you have to have full health to use it, too, which... I mean, it's... The weapon is a one-hit kill when you use it. But it can be hard to use, and you have to have full health to use it. You can't use it any other time. And it's not just like a straight-up weapon. It is a button combination. And it can be tough to do. And then it's got a bit of a delay before it actually fires, and all these other things. But once it does fire, if it contacts, it is a one-hit kill. And it is, you know... Yeah. Now, from here on out, we can just use this. One of the best weapons in the game for farming for health. Except at this particular section if you get off the trolley like I did. Stupid miners. Good, yeah, my sub tanks are almost full. So I think I have to beat through here like 5 times and get up here. Then just drop down here and die. And then you restart, go up, drop and die, restart, go up, drop and die, restart, go up, drop and die. It's frustrating, but, you know, what are you gonna do? That's how they designed it. It's the fastest way to get it. You do have to have full health in order to get it. That's a requirement in any of the games. To get these weapons, you have to have full health. But other than that, it's not too hard. Again, come back up here, grab the life, and drop again. Go one more time. It's a good thing this is the most fun level in the game, because otherwise this would get tedious real quick. No, maybe next time or the time after. So drop again. And again, you can do this without dying, but you have to play through the whole stage again, you know, this number of times, and it's just faster to do it this way. So, maybe it'll appear this time. If not, next time should do it. I am standing at the back of the cart, by the way, so I don't get hit by the miners, and I don't have the miners destroy my shield. Is this here? Yes, there it is. Notice what he's wearing. I give you a special present. Now, enter the capsule, please. What's going on? No armor changes. Wait, my fist changed. They gasp! And it's the Hadouken. And you perform it just like the Hadouken. Down, forward, fly. Oh yeah. That's the secret weapon. And in X2, you get the Shoryuken. Oh yeah. So now we get to go through Sigma's Palace. And we get to absolutely destroy with this weapon. So we got our Storm Tornado. Let's kill the Mega Turtles. And this has one of the most frustrating platforming segments in the game if you don't know how to do it. But, you know, I know how to do it. And it comes down to, again, using the shield at appropriate times. You just put the shield up, and suddenly it's just the platforming now. You don't have to deal with enemies. Which, I know for me, that was the hardest part before, was dealing with all the enemies that would attack you. Of course, you could just jump on the mountain, and you can actually, you know, wall jump out and up to get up the mountain. But, you know, this is just easier. It does take a bit of skill still to navigate from platform to platform, but you do have the wall cling, and you do have the jump. I mean, that would be... So now... we get to the fight with Vile. Stay back, X. I'll take him on. We'll see how well that works. Sadly, you can't beat Vile still in his right armor, but you can still give him a good show. Oh, I can't do Hadouken anymore. Yeah, you can give him a good show with the Hadouken, but I don't think you can destroy him. Yeah, come on, Vile. I'm having fun shooting you, but I still, just like the first fight, I can't actually damage your armored carrier. And there we go. No, Zero! Now let's see if we can Hadouken him here, because we're about to get full health. So he's going to jump over me and off screen, so I'm going to try and dash under him and Hadouken back to the left. And hopefully that will let me kill him. Because he's very hard to Hadouken normally, since he does a lot of jumping around, and it's, you know, you have your delay on the Hadouken. So dash to the left, and bam. Dash to the right, Hadouken to the left, and down he goes. Right here would give it to you, because you do need it to beat Sigma, except, you know, you don't need it to beat Sigma because you can use the rolling shield. Sadly, Final Sigma is immune to the Hadouken, but earlier Sigmas aren't. Now this section's real easy. Charge up your C-Sting. Bam, 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 dash, jump. And get all the way over here. Charge her up again. Climb. You get up here. And bam. Let me see if I can Hadouken him. This is going to be hard. Because he's also fast and good at dodging. See, I've hit him multiple times, but no. Alright, let me just go to this. Yeah, see, like, I hit him 3 times with the Hadouken, but because of the way his invincibility frames work, I couldn't, it didn't damage him. Which, I think that sucks, but whatever. So, normally I would run through here with the shield, and I still am, because I want to fill my health up, and you can fill your health and tanks up pretty quickly here. You just gotta make sure you get those guys when they're open, because otherwise they'll destroy your shield. Like that. Come on. Now, if I'm correct with this guy, I should be able to Hadouken him on the first run. Gotta do it as he's coming. Aw, really? He sends out the spiders immediately. That's his weakness. Ice is his weakness. He's not a hard boss. He just gets faster and faster and throws out spiders more and more often. You can because you can only hit him when his eye is open. So when he throws out those spiders, that's really that's when it gets complicated. And of course when he gets really fast. But he's getting low on health. First time in a long time I've actually fought him. And there he goes. Now we get to the second Sigma stage. With this boss, we can't Hadouken him, but still a fun boss. This the final boss of this stage is the one where you absolutely need wall jump to beat, because you fight him over a pit of spikes, and there's it gets to where there's nowhere you can stand, and you'll either die by touching the spikes or you wall jump. Not that wall jumping is exactly hard, but you couldn't have this boss exactly as it is in Mega Man. You would have to at least tweak him a little bit. Of course, not this boss. This boss is just Chill Penguin, which we can take out with a Hadouken. Hopefully. Ah, that's another thing. As soon as you get hit by the Hadouken, I really should just waited for an opening like that. Next boss is Storm Eagle. We'll see if I can get my health back up again to see if I can, give him a Hadouken. Maybe. I don't know. I got some health. I know people complain about the shield weapon in Mega Man games, but in this game, that is probably the best. This is the best shield I've ever used in a Mega Man game. There we go. Now we have our health up. So we fight Storm Eagle here. We'll try to Hadouken him. We'll see how well it goes. Ah. There he goes. Now this guy, it's not even worth trying to Hadouken him. You can't kill him. I mean, I suppose technically it's possible, but it would take 3 Hadoukens because he has 3 separate parts. But he's weak to the C-Sting. I used to think he was weak to like whatever color he opened up to, but I think it's just the C-Sting that he's weak to. And you see here the walls close in, so you have the walls or insta-death on the floor. But, you know, he's fairly easy with the C-Sting. I think his name is Rangdabangda or Rongdabangda. Then the next boss is D-Rex. And I think this emulator actually, this ROM anyway, actually glitches a bit on that level. But we'll see when we get there. Yeah, you can see the screen's a little glitchy there. It's because I'm playing this on an emulator so I can record it. So I'm going to try and I'm going to beat him. He'll do that, and I'm going to hit him with that, and I'm going to switch back over to this. Ah! Alright. And down he goes. Let's see what I can do over here. Health. Can I get a little more health just to, so I can try Hadoukening the next boss? Really? All I need is a tiny health. Ah. Oh. Yeah, there we go. This is Stink Command. Well, I can't Hadouken him anyway. He stays up high and you have to be on the ground for that. Whatever. I'll still kill him. And down he goes. Let me try the shield on this one. I think that'll make things easier. No. Alright, Hurricane it is. Ah, come on. Really? There. This is Spark Mandrill, I believe. Yep. See, once you get him out of stun lock, he's a tough boss, but he's just... There we go. think now I fight Launch Octopus, because I have to drop down into the water here. Yeah. I'll actually demonstrate cutting his tentacles off. It's not actually his weakness, but you can do that, which changes up his attack patterns. He can't do his little spin around thing, and he can't launch his other things anymore. It actually does make him harder to hit with this because of the way he attacks now, that he only uses that, but, you know, it makes the fight quicker because he doesn't do his invincible spin attack. And next, I think that's everyone. Is it? No, Flame Mammoth is next. And then we fight the final boss of this level, which is D-Rex. Then we have to fight the final boss of the game. Velgarder, Sigma, and then Final Sigma. And I'll show cutting his trunk off, too. This is a bit more effective, because it takes away his oil slick attack. There it goes. Now it looks more like a pig, but whatever. Not entirely sure why his bounce doesn't affect you when you're on a wall, but it doesn't. And now we fight D-Rex. I think he's weak to Sea Sting, but I'm not sure. Really the key here, and you see he's glitching too on this ROM for some reason. The key is to find what weapon does 2 damage to him instead of 1. Is it the missile? No. Is it the shield? I don't think it would be the shield. They wouldn't do that again. I guess it is the shield. Oh, no, maybe not. No. Is it? Yeah, it's the cutter. Yeah, the cutter takes off three of his health instead of 1. There he goes. Now we have Sigma, starting with his dog, Velgarder. Because Sigma makes you fight his dog before you can fight him. We have, wow, we have a lot of lives, and we have full sub-tanks. Hadoukens. Like all bosses, he's weak to Hadoukens. Except for Final Sigma. Fun fact, the sword Sigma uses here is actually the sword Zero gets in the later X games. So he's going to jump over me. Ah! I missed my chance, so ice it is. So yeah, Velgarder is weak to Ice, First Form Sigma is weak to E-Spark, Electricity, and Second Form Sigma is weak to Rolling Shield. Down he goes. Now, Sigma can do a lot of damage. His Sword Slash does like a quarter health. When he blocks attacks, he's nasty all around. But this is actually the kind of fight I really like in Mega Man games. You know, he's fast, he jumps around the screen a lot, so it requires you to do that as well to avoid him. But, you know, I find that fun. That really takes advantage of the advantages X has over the original series, which is, you know, the dash and the wall jump. Let's see. So I can beat him. Okay. Almost there. Ah. And down he goes. So, Final Sigma, he is weak to Rolling Shield, and he does a shit ton of damage. And he is immune to... I need to use one of these or I'm gonna die. That fire of his takes off a whole lot of damage. He is completely immune to Hadoukens. I need to heal again. Yeah, nothing about this fight is easy, but, you know, as long as you have full health, full sub-tanks, you can usually take him on. You just gotta keep using your sub-tanks is kind of the biggest thing, because he does do a lot of damage. If you stand on the edge of his hand like this, you can avoid getting struck by lightning. And down he goes. So that's the end of the game. It's not possible. I'm a Reploid. I can't be destroyed by you. Why? I'm a Reploid too. So his giant wolf body dies. And we get a really... Somehow his floating castle falls into the sea. Well, this has turned out to be a long one. I expected it to be about an hour and a half. So, now we get a monologue, a very slow-moving scroll of text from X. While X sits on the cliffside, looking over at the fortress in the water. The war has ended for now, and peace has been restored. But those who sacrificed themselves for the victory will never return. Exhausted, X gazes at the destruction he helped cause, and wonders why he chose to fight. Was there another way? Standing on the cliff, the answers seemed to escape him. He only knows that he'll fight the Reploids again. Sorry, fight the Mavericks again before he finds his answer. How long will his pain last? See, it just scrolls too slow. It keeps you from reading it properly. But then we're treated to a nice little ending of X gazing out over the ocean and running along the highway. And we get to see X run. As we go through all of the enemies and all of the bosses. Velgarder. And X charges and dashes off into the sunset. Or the stage. Thanks for playing. And you, as Mega Man X. Well, that's it for now. Next time we'll do X2. Have a good one.